BRICS countries will enjoy equitable shareholding of the bank, which is seen as critical to the realignment of global development financing.
The South African delegation would not be drawn on the notion that this was a bad deal for the country. On the contrary, in their view, touting the equitable shareholding of the bank and the collective nature of decision-making within the group, suggesting that this could be a new way of doing business within multilateral fora and a hallmark, very likely, of the BRICS group. Shervin Brycebees, SABC News, Fortaleza, Brazil.
Well, that is good money. 100 million US dollars. Now, tired of living from paycheck to paycheck? Well, it's never too late. One of the most important things that you can do for your financial well-being is to get in the habit of saving. Question is, do you save? Now, many people have the attitude that they should be able to enjoy their money since they work so hard for it come the end of the month. Well, wrong. Save basically because we can't predict the future. Savings are an important part of money management. Not only are they key to financial independence, but it also forms a foundation for building wealth. Now, we couldn't have had this discussion at a better time because what time is it? It's July. It's National Savings Month. Now, for more on this, we join in studio by Vickers Olivier, debt counselor at DebtSafe. Vickers, good morning to you and welcome to AM News.
Morning, Elvis. Thanks for having me over.
Now, savings. Why is it so important?
Well, like you said, you can't predict the future. And, savings, creates a buffer for yourself in the time where there's an emergency that otherwise you would have gone into your credit card or taken on a loan to see you through that difficult time. Savings are there to see you through it.
But what is the first thing that one should do to adopt that culture of saving in our communities?
Elvis, I think, saving isn't rocket science, but it starts with a mindset change, a behavioral that we have to decide, I want to start saving. And then you take it from there. Because if you don't really want to save, you can try the world, you're not going to get far. But if you decide we want to save, and then you can take it from there, start with budgeting and, knowing your expenses.
But what is a practical example? If I earn 1,000 Rand a month, what is the first thing that I should do?
Elvis, the first thing is to know what you spend on and what you spend it on. Many of you drive to work, you stop at the garage, take a cup of coffee every morning. Those are all the small rands you're going left, right, and center. But at the end of the month, you don't know where your money went. And that's the start of it, to know where your money goes, and then to sort of consolidate your finances and put it on a piece of paper in front of your eyes so that you can see where you can shovel around. Maybe take 2 cups of coffee instead of, 5 a week. At the end of the day, it adds up. 100 rands, maybe 2 a month can go down on savings, on debt repayments.
And you can put that away to start your saving block.
Absolutely.
Now, we live in a country where people are heavily indebted. How can saving positively impact on these consumers?
Elvis, saving prohibits you from, or it helps you not to get further and further into debt. So if you don't have a savings plan, and it's like an exercise plan, you get that extra little weight and you want to shave it off, you need an exercise plan and you need to be disciplined and stick to it every day. And that's exactly the same with savings and getting out of debt. Have a fixed plan, a strategy of getting out and work towards it. At the end of the day, you're going to be glad you did.
So it's like starting off very slow. Start off with a walk before you start running, right?
Yeah, and it's never too late to start.
So start off with something like, say, 100 Rand, just to put away, if that is, of course, the case. Because I believe there's a percentage that people should normally save according to. If you have, say, 1,000 Rand that you earn, save how much? 10%? 20%?
No, 10% is a good figure, but it depends on your personal financial goals. If you're saving towards retirement, that's a whole other set of things. And there are great savings vehicles, to motivate people to save. And when you're looking at stokvels and those types of things, there's a collective, they're motivating each other to save, and they're saving towards a specific goal towards the end of the year, maybe a Christmas savings or whatever the case may be.
And that's a good way to start, isn't it? To start, if you can't do it on your own, start with a couple of people that put a block of money together and then lump it all together, and you get a better interest as well.
Yeah, definitely. And from a collective pool, they can start investing, make your money grow. Because savings just lying there in an account, it's there, but it doesn't work for you.
But what are the negative implications if you don't save at all?
Elvis, definitely you are going to get more and more into debt. If you don't save, it means that you are in debt. Yeah, I mean, our budgets are stretched, and if you have to put tires on your car and you didn't save for it, where's that money going to come from? Definitely a credit card or some other type of debt.
But talking about credit cards, some people would say, you know, but I do have a credit card, so I can always fall back onto that. Is that a good thing to do?
It's good if you manage it correctly. It's not necessarily a bad thing, debt, but people don't necessarily manage it correctly. They don't plan their spending on it. They just go and max it out, and at the end of the day, it doesn't correlate back to their budget and their household income. I mean, consumers in our country, 75% of their disposable income goes towards debt repayments. So, you know, we need to do everything to not make that percentage even worse.
Do you think that South Africans, though, take National Debt Saving Month very serious? Did I say Debt Saving Month? National Savings Month very, very serious?
It's getting traction. It's improved over the last few years. I mean, Savings Month has been running from, I think, 2006. So it's getting better and better. Awareness, people are getting more aware of it, but definitely not taking it as seriously as they should.
And what sort of awareness programs out there that people can actually latch onto if they want to know more about how to save and how to make their money work for them?
Yeah, the internet is full of things. I mean, internet. Most of us go onto our mobiles and browse the internet. There are tons of information on there. They can even go onto our website. We have a blog there at debtsafe.co.za. And there's a blog with a bunch of information about saving, practical tips and tools just to get you going.
Now, we just heard about the BRIC Bank that's going to be started. But in terms of saving and the lack thereof, how do we compare South Africa to other developing countries and emerging countries such as Brazil, India, and so forth?
I was looking at our savings rate as a percentage of our GDP. We're at about 13%. Now, China is very good off. They're at about 51% of their GDP. Brazil at about 15%, Russia at about 30% of the GDP. So we are way down there, and those are the BRICS countries. When you look at household savings in South Africa, households only contributed about 1.7% of those savings. So it's the corporate South Africa who's got the most savings in there, but households should definitely contribute more.
So that would indicate that South Africans are indebted, or highly indebted?
Yes, definitely, sure.
What is that percentage?
The indebtedness percentage. Well, about 20 million active active consumers, about 48% of them are over-indebted. They can't manage to make their monthly repayments on a periodic basis.
Sure, that sounds absolutely horrific.
Yeah.
Finally, because your advice to consumers, what should they do starting today?
Elvis, I think consumers shouldn't wait too long. Start today and make a plan. Start with budgeting. Start to identify where you are spending money, what you are spending it on, and to see if you can cut a portion there to put towards savings or to even pay off your debt, because the level of over-indebtedness is the major factor that are prohibiting consumers from saving. And that's, I think, where they should start.
And if you're over-indebted, do they contact you?
Yes, absolutely. There are a bunch of remedies to, tools to remedy the over-indebtedness. But it starts with yourself. If you can't manage, there are things like debt review, which is governed by the National Credit Act, and consumers should make use of it. It offers them a whole bunch of protection and benefits, protects their assets and all those types of things. And they can contact us definitely if they feel like that.
There you go. Vickers, thank you so much for your time and joining us here on AM News. Vickers Olivier is a debt counselor at DebtSafe, so you can contact them on the web. As he says, it's all over the place, www.debtsafe.co.za. There you have it. Thank you so much, Vickers, for coming in. Right now, let's move over to stories making news around the globe. China's economy has grown by 7.4% this year-on-year in the first half of 2014. Now, growth in the second quarter stood at 7.5%, picking up from the 7.4% expansion in the first quarter. That's terrific growth.
National Bureau of Statistics of China says that the Chinese economy showed good momentum of stable and moderate growth in the first half. However, the Bureau said China should keep in mind that the domestic and international economic environment is still complicated and the national economy still faces many challenges. Other data released alongside the gross domestic product report showed factory output rose by 9%